How's it going, everybody? My name's Will from Ghosthack, and in a previous video I went over how to make a hybrid trap drop, and I made this little drop right here. But in today's video I'm going to show you how I might take this drop and turn it into a complete hybrid trap track. Alright, so before I explain to you my process and sort of the ideas I have as far as the layout goes, I'm going to just go ahead and play what we made in the last video. Now keep in mind, normally my drop would have two parts. At this point it would go into a second type of drop that would be kind of a different thing. It'd have a different vibe, maybe some different sounds going on there, and be kind of the second half to the first drop. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to leave this drop the way it is, and we're going to just have short drops for this song. And I've actually made a different video, a drop the track video for a Riddim track, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow generally the layout I followed in that one as well, and I'm going to go intro for the first 8 bars, then build up, and then drop 1, and then break down, build up, drop 2, and then right into the outro. You can obviously get a lot more complex with this layout if you want, you know what I'm saying? You can have verses in there where you have kind of a, it's not a hook, but it's a place where you might add vocals or, you know, a lead melody or something else in the middle there between the intro and the build. But for the sake of time and for the sake of the tutorial, this is how I'm generally going to lay things out. Again, because the drops are short, it's going to mean that the song ends up being pretty short. It's probably going to end up being like closer to 2 minutes long, so not a long track, but going through the essentials. So in this layout for this tutorial, drop 1 and drop 2 are the same. This isn't what I would normally do. I normally make switch up for drop 2 so it doesn't get boring, but again, I'm not focusing on the drop here. There is one thing I want to say though. I found these vocals and I would like to use them at some point. It's just a little bit of talking from the movie Good Morning Vietnam, I believe, but this is just the quote.
You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem, but if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
And I really want to use those vocals somewhere because kind of talking sort of monologue old time vocals like that can sound very good in these sort of darker electronic tracks. Now obviously this is not getting released, so make sure whatever you're using is not going to get you into any copyright trouble, but I'm just going to use this for the video. So my first idea right off the bat is a little bit of a synth line. I have an idea of an instrument I want to add. And I kind of want to make the pattern and then I'll kind of perfect the instrument. I know I want it to be like a saw wave. And then turn on mono legato and slide. Let me turn on my keyboard here. Okay, so we have a basic sound to work with. That's probably going to change a lot, but I just want something like that. Now this track is in D sharp. I kind of want a pattern like this. But this sound needs to be edited a lot. It sounds kind of chasey. I like it. Alright, so I left oscillator A there. I had oscillator B up another octave with a little bit of detune. I turned it down a little bit so it's running through some distortion, the phaser, some hyperdimension and chorus to give it a bit of spread, the multiband compressor, a bit of flanger, a bit of reverb, and I'm doing some cool stuff with the EQ. So I have this low-pass filter and this high-pass filter controlled by the note, by whatever note is being pressed. So the higher the note, the higher the amount on these filters, the higher the frequency. And then I have macro 1 also controlling the frequency here, so I can close it and open it. And add a little bit of tension there. So I'm going to lay this down here and I'm just going to use this for the intro right here, and I'm probably going to use this for the build as well, so I'll just drag this here. Then let's take the horn stab and the crash that sound like this. And then this. So we just have and we can really start work. I know I want this quote to be like right here before we go into the build-up.
Stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
And then we can have a little like a drum fill or something. Then it's going to go into the build-up where it gets more and more intense. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and route these vocals into 10. Let's go with that. And we can kind of affect them a little bit here.
You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
Let's go SerumFX, maybe the Multiband Compressor.
You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
So I'm just going to change it to smooth, and then I'm going to fade out the ends.
You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me...
So now after the multiband compression, a little bit of Soundgoodizer, and a couple of EQs doing their thing, we have this sound.
If you stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
And that's versus this.
If you stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
I'll decide whether I want to add reverb later once it really gets used in the track.
If you stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
Yeah, and we can use this weird snare fill that we used in the other one.
I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
Right into the next bit. Cool. And then we have an impact here that we can use. Let's see, would this sound good? It's kind of weak. Yeah, maybe I can hold off on the cymbal. The next thing I know I want to do is I want to create an automation clip for that macro that I made when I was making this cool instrument. Let's go right here and automate this macro. So it starts at the bottom, and then over the course of time right here, it will go all the way up.
If you stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
Actually, there's another thing I kind of want to add. I want to add another low pass to this synth, but like after, like in the effect section. To go like that, you know? So let's make this a little less sharp. Just for a little bit extra movement. And so we can just go like this and everything will be hunky-dory. And let's move this brass to just this part right here. And we'll keep this impact. But I want a sub bass drop. The Platinum Producer Bundle has a nice sub drop here. Let's fade it out a little bit more. All right, and this synth is making me feel something else too. I really want to add strings, and strings are very easy to add because I have Flex. Flex is a great plugin, great addition to FL Studio, and Flex has some free strings, essential strings. I want, do I want them all? Let's see. Something like that. Except in key, because these are right now in the key of E, and I'm not in the key of E, I'm in the key of D sharp if I remember correctly. I have no clue if that pattern is even going to be usable, but if it is, I feel like it will work out pretty dope. Let's try it. It may just be a complete crash and burn. I don't know, actually. Let me bring it over to this side so we can hear it a little better. I feel like that's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. It might not work exactly, but it's still useful. Let's try sustain. No, definitely not. What about just violins? That's kind of cool. I'm not saying no to that. Again, it doesn't work perfectly, but I think that's okay. It sounds a little dissonant. But I am going to take off the echo. Oh, I have another good idea. I want to make this unique right here. And in this specific one, I want to just take out the top. So it goes like... And then on this one, I can leave it. Wait, maybe I can take that a step further. Yeah, I can continue to add notes to this. Yeah, I'm just coming up with this right now. I want to continue to add notes to this as it goes on. So it starts out with just the root, right? It just says. And then it slowly adds notes as this intro goes on. And in this one, number 13, well, we just made it unique to 14, we can add the octave right here. So it goes like this.
If you stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
Yeah, we're getting this. Let's throw this into a mixer track. A little more reverb. Okay, now there's this sound effect, again, from the Platinum Producer Bundle that we have here called Broken Android. And when I stretched it out to fit the time, like, I don't know why I like it so much. And I think I want to just keep it in the background and like filter it just so it comes in as a little bit of a layer, because it's really interesting the way that it all lines up. I don't know. Like I want to cut the low. And the high too. And then maybe throw some SerumFX on it to get a little bit of a spread. A little bit of flanging. Let's do the phaser trick where I bring all these down. A little bit of chorus. Yeah, a little bit of reverb for room. EQ just to lower the low end. And then just turn this down to be in the background.
If you stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
It is still very dissonant, so I think I want to just have it come in on certain moments. Like I want to multiband compress it a little bit so it becomes a little bit louder, and then I can filter it. So it's add an EQ after this, and then we can take a let's take a bandpass. Like that. So it starts about there, so let's create the automation clip. Let's maybe put this here. Yeah, I'm not sure why I enjoy that as much as I do, but I kind of like it. It just adds a cool kind of dissonant, strange texture. So now it's time to do the build up a little bit, where I want to take some build up drums and get some of those going. So these strings can go down with other sounds, and then we can work on the drums. Perhaps I could take this kick, again from the Platinum Producer suite, and then I can throw this right here. It's just a small kick. It has a little bit of a tail, but I can get a smaller snare to make kind of a trap, a trap loop with this. So here's a snare from the hip hop starter kit, right there, and then we can kind of make a loop with these. First off, this kick needs a cut right there and needs to be lowered in pitch a little bit, so I can go in here and lower this. There, that looks a little nicer. And now we can run it through soft clippers. Another one. Another one. And then what we're going to add here is SerumFX, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of width with this hyperdimension to the snare clap. A little bit of reverb. The phaser trick. Now I'm actually going to replace this kick with something else. All right, and now let's create kind of a build-up. All right, so we have a little bit of a build-up drum here. That pattern might be changed a little bit, but I want to add this little reverse clap thing, this, you know, kind of swish into things. And a swish right there as well. And obviously some automation is needed right here, so I'm going to automate the low frequencies of this kick drum, because that's just pounding. So we're going to have to go like that. So let's create this automation clip to just slide upward. So we can also create an automation clip for this clap. First of all, the reverb's a bit much, probably because of the Soundgoodizer right afterward. So we're going to create an automation clip for this low-pass filter, and it's going to kind of come in. Actually, it's going to kind of ease in a little bit too. Kind of like that, maybe a little harsher than that. Actually, on second thought, maybe I'll just automate this frequency up. And then bring a low pass in, or excuse me, a high pass, where I can go like this. Like that. So I might just take this right here that's just sitting here. It's not really a high pass, but it's a shelf. So I can go like this, kind of bring up this frequency. Yeah, like that. That's kind of neat. And then also let's take the kind of vocal chant loop that we used in the drop right here, and we can bring this in to just set it down right here. Sounds like this.
He died as a child.
Yeah, maybe just right there. And now it's time for some risers. This was a riser from a free pack we gave out a while ago that I just want to use right here because it's pretty basic. It's just a white noise riser. Nothing too special, and I can make it loud pretty much the whole time. And then let's take the rides. But of course all this needs side chaining, so let's take the side chain trigger here and use this. And the next thing I want to do is take this instrument and I want to high pass it just at this moment. So we create an automation clip to kind of high pass it upward. But not too much. And I'll take this riser from Riddim Essentials 2020. Which is kind of an interesting sounding riser. It's like, it's called ring-a-ling. It's really strange. So I don't know if this will work the whole time.
You died as a child.
So I got to make sure it's stretched to the right tempo.
I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
Yeah, that actually sounds really cool. That's a pretty useful sound. I'm also going to take this impact, explode from that pack, and I'm going to use that as well because I think the impact needs a little more power. I'm going to go in and edit this real quick, and I'm going to go into this EQ and I'm going to roll off the low end because I don't want the low end. I just want this. I just want that. So let's drag that in so it doesn't have any bass.
Child. You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
So I did end up adding a little bit of delay to the vocal.
You stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
But that's just a little extra thing, and that pretty much concludes the intro and the build-up, and it's time to move on to the breakdown and everything else. Now, one thing you will notice as I'm doing this is that it all stays pretty similar. Once the intro and the break and like the main build-up is complete, that's the majority of like the necessary elements of your song already created. You have it all there. And now what I like to do, at least, you know, in the simplest form, is to just go and make changes. You know what I'm saying? Like duplicate it over and then to make changes. A lot of artists, I've done this as well, will, you know, just completely do something totally different for the bridge. You know what I'm saying? Because it's this bridge area. But in this situation, I think it's going to be the most efficient to just sort of copy and paste this, right? And then make a few changes and, you know, have it be a little bit different just so it's not completely the same thing over again. All right, so with this breakdown, I kind of took away the synth at the very beginning and moved the vocal around.
If you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
And it's something I want to try to use is this sound effects, this creepy laugh. Again, it's from the Platinum Producer Suite, so I'm just going to drag this in right here and see if I can manipulate this. What would happen if I slowed it down like a ton? Like... Wow, that's weird. Okay, well that doesn't really work, so I'll have to slow it down. I'll still have to slow it down, but not quite as much, maybe. That could work a little better. Let's see if we can even this out a little bit. Yeah, it's not perfect. It doesn't sound great. Like it's not the smoothest thing in the world, but I think it's still usable. So I'm just going to route this into a new track and I can fade it in a little bit with this low pass. So let's just create this automation clip, then just up, a little bit of verb, maybe a lot of verb. It sounds good. So now I actually want to create an automation clip for these vocals.
If you toy with me,
because I want the delay and the like reverb to come up a lot right now. So the delay.
If you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
Well, maybe just reverb. I think that's fine. I just want reverb at the end.
If you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
Yeah, so I can just create this automation clip, go like that. And then bring this up here, and I'll fit it somewhere. Fitting in these automation clips can be a little bit annoying, but at least we can move them around wherever we want. So I just want this reverb mix to come up like this, and then just fade out.
If you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
And And then I want a little snare fill right here. Or just a drum fill in general, just something like that. Or I can use this right here, which is from the Riddim Essentials Volume 2 pack. And I can also use this little snare fill from the same pack. Which means I want to add a cymbal right here just to, you know, balance it out. And actually what I decided to do here is make the kicks go really fast right at the start just to add even more intensity. Some people might say this is over the top. I guess it is a little bit over the top, but I'm okay with doing it. So it sounds like this. I also want to take this loop right here, which is coming out on a new Ghosthack pack pretty soon. It's technically percussions, but it sounds like a clock ticking, and I really like it. So we got to speed this up.
If you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
Yeah, I like that. Obviously a lot of reverb and other effects has to go on this, so let's route this into its own thing. Let's add verb. And a little bit of compression. And for the outro, I really don't think it needs to be complicated at all. We want obviously the impacts and like the crashes and let's see, brass hit. Yeah. The sub drop, of course.
If you toy with me.
And I think I want to add this little robot effect as well. That can go right here. And I think as far as the strings go, we can kind of shorten it. So like these 4 beats right there, 4 bars right there are going to be that. These 4 bars right here are going to be this. And then we'll have 4 bars of this and then 4 bars of that. Oh wait, sorry, 2 bars. I'm getting confused. This is 16, so that would be 2. So we have the strings doing that. We have like the riser. And it just ending right there. And I want to see exactly what I want to put in this area. So I think I want to take the drum loop that was in the drop. And I want to render this out and kind of and telephone it. I'll show you what I mean by that. You probably already do just by context clues, but this is what I want to do. So here we have the rendered out drum loop. And it was peaking a little bit. And now I'm going to run it into a different channel, and we're going to cut the low end here. And the first thing we're going to do is add some distortion. Let's see right here. And now we can cut the lows and the very highs, and then we can ease back on the distortion maybe a little bit. And so now it sounds a little bit like this. And then I'm going to create an automation clip for the low pass filter, or excuse me, the high pass filter. I always say those wrong, but it's just going to go up like this. Oh, I connected the wrong one. My bad. Let's link it to the correct one. And then I forget if I already said that I had one last thing to do, but the last thing I want to do before I run it through the mastering chain is to make this unique here. And then I want to sort of pan this one direction.
I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
and then just turn it down.
I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child. I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child.
And I have it so low, but it's still kind of loud because it's going through a multiband compressor. But now that I'm done with that, I think I'm pretty much done with this track. Obviously, I could continue working on this for a long time, but I want to call it a day here because I think this is a solid example of how to build a track. So I'm just going to run it through the mastering chain, and I'll see if there's anything else. All right, so I just ran the track through a full kind of like rudimentary mastering chain with just the basics to control, stereo width, EQ spectrum, just to make everything louder, and also used it to bring down the level of the buildup, a little bit, just to creep it downwards so the drop hits a little bit harder. And at the end, this is what we have.
If you stay out of my way, there'll be no problem. But if you toy with me, I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child. Toy with me. I'll burn you so bad you'll wish you died as a child. So bad you'll wish you died as a child.
So there we have it. There is your intro, your build up, your breakdown, your build up to, and your outro to kind of go in your track. Again, expand on this formula if you wish. This is just the basics, kind of bare essentials. I want you to know that you can get a lot more complicated than this, and you can get a lot more fun than this. But I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, leave a like. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. What else would you add? What do you like to do to your intros and build ups to kind of help build tension or kind of smooth out transitions? So thank you guys so much for watching, and we really appreciate all of your support, and I will see you in the next video. Happy producing.